Oh shit!
So please welcome to the stage, Oshi Morgan.
Before we go any further, I just want to say a massive thank you to anyone who follows me on here or wherever you're following me, or if this is the first video that you've watched. The support that I get off you guys, honest to God, keeps me going and allows me to do things like this talk. Like, to be on the same event as James Smith, Stephen Bartlett or Chris Williamson is absolutely nuts to me, considering that back in January I only had 2,000 followers and nobody had a fucking clue who I was. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy the video, and look, if it doesn't make you laugh once, you probably have no sense of humour at all. But yeah, if you could like, subscribe, all of that sort of shit, I'd massively appreciate it.
Big Irish testicles. Massive Irish testicles.
Don't know about that.
Oshi Morgan.
Holy fuck! Oh shit! I'm after coming out here, I'm like, shit, this is nuts. I was in the crowd this time last year and I was like, my presentation, I want to try and help someone feel like that this is achievable as well. Every talker that came on and everyone I've seen, I was like, I'm never going to be able to achieve that. Or from seeing other people on social media and seeing like the likes of James Smith or Darren, sometimes you look at them and you're like, I'm never going to be able to do that. And so that's why the name of my talk is I'm Not Supposed to Be Here. And as you can probably tell from how nervous I am, I probably fucking shouldn't be here. For all the bad language, I apologise, but if you don't like it, fuck off upstairs somewhere, please. A couple of reasons why I'm not supposed to be here. One of the biggest ones is I used to weigh 130 kilos about 10 years ago, and now I'm sat speaking at a fitness event, which is fucking nuts. And when I see some of the shape people are in here now, I'm like, back years ago when I used to look at them Instagram profiles, I used to be like, holy fuck, I'll never be like that person. And I remember I was sat in my bathroom at home, and I was looking in the mirror at myself. I was 130 kilos at the time. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to lose a pound. I'm never going to be able to lose a kilo. I'm never going to be able to do anything. I felt so worthless. I felt so useless. I was bullied all the time for my weight. And I just felt like I could never do it. And standing on stage here is something I would never have pictured myself doing. If I went back and told Oisín, who was standing in that bathroom, that he'd be standing on stage where people are looking at me in clothes and a slim fit top, he'd be like, you're fucking stupid. That's never going to happen. And my brother, who's here, and I want to give a round of applause because I would not be sat here on this stage without him. He supported me on my fitness journey. So initially, to get me into the gym, he didn't call me fat, he didn't call me overweight, he didn't bully me into fitness. He came into my room and he said to me, do you want to come to the gym with me and my best friend? And I don't know if anyone here, I'm going to start crying because he's crying as well. I don't know if anyone here has an older brother or someone that you look up to, but when you have an older brother, you're like, fuck, he's so cool, he's sick. So when he asked me to go to the gym with him and his friend, I was like, yes. And it's so funny because that's changed the person who I am now. In comparison to the people who thought they were helping by calling me fat, calling me overweight, they did nothing. They didn't ever make me want to get up and go to the gym. The only thing that they actually did was impact my self-confidence that much that I felt like I could never go. And again, before I get going, I want to give a massive round of applause to my mom, because I would not be sat here on this stage without her. Last year, before coming to IFS, if you'd asked my mum where I'd be, she'd probably have guessed not around anymore. It's extremely hard to talk about, but this time last year, before actually coming to IFS and booking my ticket, first of all, mum actually told me to go. She was like, make sure you go, make sure you go, make sure you go, because I was so anxious. I was at a point in my life where my business had failed. I was about 12 grand in debt. All of my friends back home, because I had moved away to Spain just before coming back home, had moved to Australia and moved away, and I was stuck in my room in a position where I didn't feel like I could talk to anyone. And I created these stories in my head of that. I'm not able to speak to anyone, I'll never be able to do this, I'll never be able to do that, my business is failing, so all the evidence that I had was that I was a failure, and I felt I could never leave. And so going to IFS and going by myself to try and get to a position where I'm standing in a room with people I don't know and try to speak to them was something I felt like I could never do. So then my mum pushed me to book my flights and pushed me to go to IFS. But there's one specific story I remember, and another reason why I'm not supposed to be here. Remember, I got my ticket to IFS, I was sat on the bus by myself on the way to Dublin Airport, it's about an hour, and I clicked the stop button on the bus, halfway. And nobody got off the bus, and the bus driver was like, who the fuck pressed that button? And I was sat there, because I was so anxious, I felt like I could never do something like this. I felt like I could never speak to people. And again, what the fuck am I doing up here? It's mental. And because I stayed on that bus and because I went, it's absolutely changed my life. My life's fucking changed. I've gone from 2,000 followers to 500,000. I actually went from about 5,000 to 500,000 in the space of a month. So it shows how quickly your life can change. Fucking hilarious story. This is so funny. You might be wondering why James Smith's book is up on screen here, but it's a mad story. So it's time to change that voice inside your head. And the reason I want to change that voice inside your head is because this happened to me when last Christmas. So before my account blew up and before I'd made any money or had any sort of successful online business, my mum actually bought me James Smith's book. She hadn't a fucking clue who he was. She just walked into the airport, picked up the first book that was there, or walked into the shop and picked up the first book that was there. And it was James Smith's book. She wrote on it that you'll be like him one day, or you'll be up on stage alongside him, or be as successful as him. I laughed in her face. And now I'm here, and James Smith was in the back and he was like, best look what you're talking. I was like, fuck me, man's a bigger supporter of you than I am. It's crazy. Last year at IFS, the first lesson that I learned is I walked into the hotel where I was staying and James Smith opened the door for me. And I kind of just looked at him for a couple of seconds. I actually was that nervous I couldn't even speak. And I was just like, this cunt opens doors too. I was like, this is crazy. When I say my mind, it's like he just walks on red carpets all the time. And so that belief that James Smith was so normal made me feel like I could achieve it. I was like, holy fuck, if he opens doors and I open doors, I can get up here too. So that was the first lesson. It wasn't his business talk or anything got to do with it. It was literally just that lesson. The second lesson was with Darren. And you know the way Darren is, like he's so brutally honest, it's so funny. I asked him a question, I was like, how do you deal with imposter syndrome or feeling like you can't achieve something? And he just looked at me dead in the eye and he goes, I haven't a fucking clue what I'm talking about now, bruv. And I was like, oh shit, we're all talking shit. And the first thing that came to my head was, we're all just normal cunts. And it's so funny because this thing that I'm standing on here makes it feel like I'm not normal. When I was literally there last year, and this is actually why I hate stages, because it creates such a gap between me and you. And that's something that I don't like, because I want everyone here to realize that I'm normal. I'm not any different. This time last year I was really, really struggling, and I just want to help out as many people as I possibly can. And I feel like where I was last year, if someone had done that to me, it would have made things so much easier. But I just picked it up through all these small lessons throughout the time. And yes, I'm going to stand back up on the stage because I can hear my voice, and I fucking hate the sound of my own voice. Yeah, so when I was going to IFS last year, I had no friends. None. No one I could ring, no one I could ring when I was upset. When I was crying my eyes out in my room where I felt like I had anxiety that I couldn't cope with, I was just speaking to my mum the whole time. That's the only person I had to talk to. So IFS helped me find a few of my best friends. Sam, one of my best friends, he's actually videoing for me at the moment. He's a fucking legend. And I wouldn't be here without him either. Emmeline, another one of my best friends, she sat here with the presentation. But yeah, she's changed my life as well, and having that support system around you of people who are quite similar will push you on days where you feel like you can't continue. Because again, last year when I sat in my room before coming to IFS, I didn't know if I was going to make it to tomorrow. I put a podcast up online with my mum, and it was something I was really afraid of putting out online, but one of the things I said, and it was like, I actually didn't think I was going to survive. I remember thinking specifically, I'm going to get in my car, I'm going to fuck off, I'm not going to come back. And imagine I did that, I wouldn't be here now. And like, her thought in her head, and she says it on the podcast as well, I actually didn't think you were going to survive. So what helped me was finding a tribe of like-minded people, and this might be brothers, sisters, your mom, whoever. Some people find it embarrassing as a 25-year-old that I love my mom, but like, I would not be here without her. I fucking love that woman so much, and she's taught me so much. And every single person here, the only reason I'm here is because of her, so you're learning through her. You know what's differently about Ireland and England, it's funny, is like when you're sat on trains or anywhere here, no one fucking speaks to each other. I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're all people, like, would you talk? I'd walk down the road back home and I'd just be like, how are you? Even if I hate the people, I'm like, how are you getting on? And I walk past them and I'm like, fucking cunt. What I want to say in this talk is, anyone who doesn't go to therapy, I highly recommend you should. First of all, it'll make you a better coach, makes you a better person, and makes you more self-aware. And my coach, or I also call my coach, my therapist, when I was really anxious and really worried about all these stories that I was creating in my head of, oh, I can't speak to people, or I can't do this, or even with this talk that I'm going to freeze, or I'm not going to be able to do anything. The thing that he said to me is, let's find out. Because often what happens is we create all these stories in our head of all negative outcomes. But if you just find out what happens, you'll figure it out. So we create a million different stories in our head, sometimes known as anxieties. And again, everybody does this. Again, as I said, before I stepped on the stage, the thing was I was going to freeze, I was not going to be able to talk. I actually did one talk in Ireland before doing this, so this is my second ever talk. The one in Ireland was a little bit small, a lot smaller, and I was shitting myself there, but I froze 3 or 4 times, so I'm happy enough about how I'm doing so far. But I created these stories. We'll go on to the next one, so I'll talk about it. Yeah, so with these stories, what often happens is we create the worst imagined outcome in our head. So it is always the worst thing that's going to happen that we come up in our head. And often that worst imagined outcome stops you from experiencing the best imagined outcome. So for me, before I was posting videos online, the worst imagined outcome was that nobody was going to watch my video. First of all, for guys here that are really afraid of nobody watching your video, nobody's seen it, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody's going to be like, if someone sees your video, has one view, and it's like, fuck, one person saw it. Because a lot of us can get worried and, oh, nobody's going to see my videos, nobody's going to watch them. At the start, probably going to happen, but it's not that big of a deal because no one has seen it. Second of all, I was worried about how I looked on camera or how cringe I was or loads of different things. And if I let them hold me back, I wouldn't be in this position. I actually would probably still be working in supermarkets or still in debt and finding things quite tough. So I'd recommend to everybody here is apply that let's find out mindset. You will figure it out, you will find it out, just go and do it. And if worst imagined outcome happens, as human beings, we're really good at figuring things out. Think of whenever anything bad has happened in your life, you've figured it out. You will figure it out, I can guarantee you that. Sometimes my brain just goes on mad tangents sometimes. I'm sat in a room and I'm like, what the fuck am I even thinking about? But if I can, I was thinking about like, how do I have the confidence to stand up and here on stage, or how do I do certain things, or how do I post videos online and not really care? And I developed the if I can mindset. And again, I developed this through jiu-jitsu, but you can really develop this through doing anything. So, I think on to the next slide. So it's actually my jiu-jitsu coach there, and he, again, instills so much knowledge in me, but one of the things is if I can. So in jiu-jitsu or any combat sport, you're kind of standing on the mats across from someone or on a fucking platform like this, and the person across from me is quite literally trying to kill you. Like, that's his job. His job is to try and fucking knock you out or try and make sure that you don't move after the fight. And so what I thought to myself is, if I can stand on a stage with someone who's trying to kill me, why can't I stand on a stage when there's nobody trying to kill me? And so what you can do here is develop the if I can. So for people here who are trying to run an online coaching business, it can be, if I can post a podcast clip on my page, I can then post a video on my page. Or if I can post a video of myself with no voice on my page, or nothing, I can post a video with my voice on my page. I'm building them small steps. It's about building the evidence that you are that person. And how you do that is just small little steps. For me, it was stepping on stage before this. And it's like, if I can speak in Ireland in front of a small crowd, I can come out here and do it in front of all of you. So the if I can mindset makes a massive difference to you being able to do shit that you find very, very difficult. So the opinions of others, and this is a funny one as well, because people who are starting their coaching or people who are only beginning often find this the most difficult, but it only gets worse. People fucking hate you more as you get more following, and it's actually dangerous, some of the shit that I've been told in my DMs. Like, I've had someone threaten to come to my house and kill me and my whole family. It's nuts. So be prepared for it. If you want to get to this level and you want to be standing on stage, be prepared for people to fucking hate you, because it's going to happen. On to the next one. So that's actually a comment that I got, or a message that I got. It's so funny. I laugh at it all the time. Yeah, so with the opinions of people, there's going to be someone sat here in the talk, and I don't want you to tell me because I'm going to fucking hate you then for the rest of the weekend, that really hates my talk or doesn't like me or doesn't like the way I am. Maybe not, but more than likely will be someone, right? Because someone's going to have that opinion, and someone's going to leave here and be like, I feel really inspired from hearing Ushin, I feel really good about what Ushin said. And the thing is, we can't change this. And how I kind of put this across to people is, because there's a lot of coaches here as well, and I was a little bit worried about my talk being too much towards coaches, but again, it can be applied to anything. It's about people who are overweight going to the gym. You will be judged for being overweight and going to the gym, and judged for being overweight and not going to the gym. So, like, realistically, the thing is to just do what the fuck you want to do, and then there's going to be negative comments anyways, no matter what you do. One of the things that I did, and I've not heard anyone talk about this before, so it's fucking mine. And if you quote it anywhere, you better tag me in. I need more followers. So one of the things is I looked up the most famous person I could think of, the most innocent or nice famous person I could think of, and it was Dermot Kennedy. I actually don't really listen to his music, but every time I watch him, like, he looks so kind. Every time I'd see him around someone, it's like, he's so cool. And so with me looking him up, I went into his pictures and his videos and I looked at the comments, and there was people calling him a cunt, and people saying his music is shit, and people saying that he's an evil person. And I just thought to myself, if people can call Dermot Kennedy a cunt, they're going to think I'm a cunt, and there's nothing I can do about it. So it's that thing of, like, get over that mindset, or get over that thing of being so worried about what everyone else thinks about you. This diagram, this is what I show my weight loss clients whenever they're worried about, and a lot of you might experience this where a weight loss client maybe puts on a pound and they feel like a failure and they give up. They're like, oh, it's not working. So for everyone here, this is how it works, business is how life works as well, is you will experience failure. And it's super important to not catastrophize failure or see it as a bad thing. It's like, this is a point for me to be able to reflect. for me to be able to learn and for me to be able to make progress. And it's going to continue. After you make progress, you're going to fuck up and fail again. You're going to fuck up and fail again. As long as you're reflecting, you're going to learn. And that's super key, because anything that's ever gone wrong for me in my business or anywhere, I've always reflected on it and wondered why that's happened, and then I've learned and I've made progress. For example, my videos. Go back and watch my first couple of videos. They're absolutely shite and I'm so nervous on screen. So I learned from those. I'd watch them and be like, what am I doing wrong here? Why is no one watching my videos? Or why am I so nervous? But meanwhile, for some people here, what you might be really, really worried about is that people are judging you for it. So you catastrophize the failure and then you never look into it. When you fail, look into it. Don't be afraid of that. It's not something to run away from. It's not something to turn your back to. If you look at it, you will make progress from there. Reflect on it, learn, make progress, and you'll experience failure again and keep going. A lot of coaches here see people online are like, oh, I don't want to put my opinion there. I don't want to put what I believe in out online in case someone calls me out for it, or in case I'm wrong, or in case the person disagrees with me. People are going to disagree with you no matter what you do, but by avoiding that, so what a lot of coaches will just do is just say the same shit as other coaches and not put their own message out there. So one of the examples that I use is I often put videos of McDonald's on my page, and I'm like, you can actually incorporate McDonald's in a healthy overall diet. And loads of people disagree with that, but I fully fucking agree with it. And if I avoided putting those videos out there because I was afraid of someone else's opinion, I would actually be creating internal conflict. And internal conflict is a lot worse than external conflict. So if I put my opinions out there, there's going to be people who argue against me. If I put my opinions out there, it stops me from having internal conflict. And this internal conflict creates a lack of enjoyment with your coaching, with your business, or no matter what it is you're doing. So what you actually want to do is put your point of view out there and put your opinion out there and not be worried about disagreement. And again, think of it when you go home. Write it down in your arm. Play your game. Actually, hilarious. Let me get it. I said I was going to use props. Sam wrote it for me before I came out on stage here. He wrote, play your game. Before I went out on stage, that was one of the things you do. And I use that all the time. Again, this talk is exactly what I did, exactly what I do all the time to try and help me out and to push me to do new things. And play your game is one of the biggest ones that I've come towards. But also, with 450 videos, it wasn't luck that got me to where I am. It's the 450 videos I posted before one did quite well. And so if you throw shit at the wall, eventually it'll stick. And put that as your mindset. Yes, your videos might not take off right now. I have posted 488 videos on my Instagram. You will get to that position if you set those small, achievable, non-negotiables. Like, James Smith is doing better than me because he has all these people surrounded by him. James Smith is doing better than me because he has a camera, a professional camera, and I don't have one. Oh, he's there. Scaring me, you. Fuck off. I can tell you that now. Watch him because people's... Yes. Yes.
I've unfortunately got to go do another talk, but there's a guy through there with a £500 million business, and there's a bigger crowd here. So I just wanted to come and say, well done, mate. I'm sure this is one of the weird experiences with you. But mate, watching you grow, everything you've been doing, like, there are so many people in this room, like, the emotional connection that they'll get with your journey is so much bigger than the equivalent of what they could have with many of the speakers here. So, well done. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep inspiring these people.
Thank you so much. Massively appreciate it. Fuck off. I'm finished. I survived. Holy shit. Yeah. Now I get to chill with everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Good job, good job.
Thank you.
Well done, mate.
Appreciate the support. I get hugs from everyone. Thank you so much.
Well done you.
It was great.
Thank you so much.
Well done.
I'm not leaving here without hugging every motherfucker in here. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. My heart rate, boys. Thank you so much.
Hey, you're confident on there as well.
Shitting myself behind the scenes.
Very good. So
Thank you so much.
Love it.
That was overwhelming.
You're a legend. That was unreal, man. Thank you so much, Petra.
Proud of
You're a
you.
legend.
Oh my god.
Thank you so fucking much. Thank you. Holy shit, my man. Fucking come here. Give it in. You're a fucking legend. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Coming in from behind.
Thanks for asking the question. You're a legend, man. Holy fuck. I feel so overwhelmed. I'm like, holy shit. Come here, my man. You're not. Come here and give me a fucking hug, you cunt.
Brilliant.
You're a legend.
First part of your story where
Tired boy.
Can't park it. That.
Where's your bike?
Really have cameras in front of you. 1, 2, 3. So we can
Get the couch out.
4 over there. Just hiding over there.
Not that kind of
I was hoping for it. I was hoping for it. You wouldn't see my shit on camera anyways. You need a bigger lens than that one, that's for sure.
No. It's got zoom mode. Cool, we're rolling.
Yeah, check.
As long as you didn't record that part, I'm alright. I'll survive.
It's been rolling.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna love these outtakes. Just gonna do a load of outtakes. Just a quick test. What do you have for breakfast today?
Oh jeez, I didn't have breakfast today. I woke up hungover.
Cool, rolling. Where'd you come from?
My name's Oisin. Yeah, this is going to take ages. My name's Oisin.
You don't have to sit down if you don't want to. If you prefer to stand up.
Yes, please.
Yeah, whatever.
Yes, fuck this, alright.
Do me a favour, just
Stand in front of the camera. Right. I'm good at this part. Standing in front of the camera is all I do. Right.
Cool, take it away.
Do you want to know my Instagram handle as well, or just Oisin Mulligan?
Hit me up, man.
I'm Oisin Mulligan from I'm Oisin Mulligan from Ireland. Nobody can understand what I'm saying half the time, and I'm coming to IFS for the second time ever. I think that's what you asked.
How has IFS helped your career?
Okay, alright. Fuck, alright, in so many different ways. IFS has actually helped my career in maybe ways that people wouldn't think of before coming. Straight up.
Look here.
Okay, alright. IFS has maybe helped my career in ways that people wouldn't think of before coming here. So first of all, I've actually met 2 of my best friends at IFS last year to have supported me and my business to get me to where I am now and to actually help me get on stage, and I wouldn't be here without that. And then also meeting people that I've seen online and making them more real. For example, like I met James Smith at the first IFS. I walked in Lisbon and I walked into the hotel room and he opened the door for me and I was like, holy fuck, this guy is just a normal person. Because when you're watching them online, you feel like they're so much ahead of you, but when you meet them in person, it's so much different. And then Darren as well just makes everything so real. So when I got chatting to him, I was like, fuck, that's so achievable, because Darren's a fucking Egypt, so I'm a fucking Egypt too, and I can achieve what he achieved. And that's exactly what IFS gave me last year and has helped me get to here this year. So the name of my talk is I'm not supposed to be here, and the reason that is because I had no self-belief whatsoever. And so if it was one piece of advice that I give someone who is at IFS this year, is that it's very fucking possible to end up on stage next year, and it's a position that I never thought I'd be in. And look at me now, I'm standing here in front of a camera. I'm just after doing a talk as well at IFS on the first day, and I don't know how the fuck it's happened, but it's very fucking possible.
Who's been your favourite person at IFS this year?
Oh, it's such a hard one. Can I say everybody who's attended? Every single person that has come here, every single person that I've met, every single person that came up to me after my talk, said hello to me, every single person that I met at IFS last year that's come this year to support me here as well. I think the attendees are the best part of IFS.
And who is your biggest influence in fitness?
Fuck. Yeah. I try to stay off social media as much as possible. But I would say probably Ben Carpenter, just looking at his videos, is probably one of the people that I look up to, because he takes a different stance on fitness, and it's something that I stand for, is like taking your own point of view or your own view on things rather than copying what everyone else is doing. So I kind of look up to him.
Question, is there anything you want to say to anyone else about attending IFS?
Yeah, so I specifically remember actually coming my first time, and I think this story will resonate with people. I got on the bus to go to IFS, so got on the bus to get on the plane to come to IFS, and I pressed the stop button on the bus because I was shit scared of actually coming here and having no friends. And I pressed the stop button and the bus driver was like, nobody got off, and the bus driver was asking, what the fuck is going on here? And I didn't. I came and I made the best friends I've ever had. So the best piece of advice is just fucking go and just attend, I suppose. Thank you very much.